because I should have just died right then and there when I was just driving. I was drunk. I was driving. It was raining. Like, there's no way I should have survived that. And I'm just going to go into it because the story's kind of long. My parents are Christian parents, and I was raised in a Christian household. As a child, it wasn't kind of like a thing that I had a choice of. You just kind of, this Sunday, you're going to go to church. You're going to do Bible studies. You're going to, be exposed to Jesus at least. And it was something that I was doing because, like, this God sounds kind of scary. If I don't listen to him, I'm going to go to hell. If I don't listen to him, then that's clips. Like, it's over for me. So I might as well just do whatever he says. So I was doing that for like a long time, like a pretty big chunk of my life. And it eventually got to the point where it was like, okay, like regardless of what I do now, if I go to church on Sunday, like I'll still be good. Like as long as I'm pulling up to church on Sunday, I would go out and party and get drunk and do whatever and, wake up a little bit still faded and still go to church because I'm like, I can't miss a service. Like I had to make sure I get there. But again, it wasn't necessarily because I was like, yeah, Jesus, like, it was just kind of like, okay, like at least let me do this so that he doesn't get mad at me or so that I can continue to fulfill that requirement, I guess. Something that's been going on in my life for like a long time is my dad's been pretty sick, and he's one of the most God-fearing men I know. He's been just going through it for a long time, and Christians come over and pray for him and XYZ, and he just doesn't get healed. Like it doesn't matter who's there, it doesn't matter who prays for him. So in my head, I'm like, okay, we're out here serving this God, we're out here praying to him. In his word, he says that if you pray to him and ask him for anything you want, you can get it, and we've been praying for this man's deliverance for the longest time. We've been praying for him to get healed for the longest time. And this is just something that like I continue to carry with me. It's just something that's always on my shoulder. And so I don't know, one night, I guess I got super fed up with it. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit intoxicated, very intoxicated now that I think about it, when I was driving, and the weight of everything just kind of broke me down. I'm driving and I don't know what brought this on, but all of a sudden I'm crying, I'm tearing up, I'm angry at God, so I'm yelling at him. I remember I was recording the voice message too. I'm yelling at him, I'm angry at him, I'm telling him like, where is he in my life? What are you, like, how come I'm going, how come I'm going through all this? I don't know, I was just frustrated, I was angry, and it feels like he's not present. It feels like after everything that everybody is doing, it feels like all these people that are actually devoted Christians are going through all this stuff. Like, where are you? Why aren't you doing anything? Why aren't you healing these people? Why aren't you, like, I'm just mad at him, I'm frustrated, I'm asking him to do something in my life. I'm asking him for a sign that he's there. I'm asking him to show himself to me, to prove that he's there, to prove that he's real. Like I'm hearing so much about you. I'm doing all this stuff where like, I'm trying not to do all this stuff, but it doesn't look like it matters because people that don't follow you are out here prospering. They're out here doing whatever they want to do and just living a good life. I'm out here now like living life the way I want to live life. I'm smoking, I'm drinking, I'm doing all this stuff, and nothing bad is happening to me. But the people that are in church every Sunday, the people that are reading your word every time, the people that are praying to you are the ones that are sick, are the ones that are just stressed, the ones that, so I'm yelling at him and I'm just crying and I'm yelling, and he does absolutely nothing. Like there's nothing. I don't hear anything when I'm driving. Looking back now, it was by his grace that I survived because I should have just died right then and there when I was just driving. I was drunk, I was driving, it was raining. Like there's no way I should have survived that. So again, thank you to him and his grace for that. So fast forward now, maybe a couple months after that incident happened, I completely forgot about that, and I'm living my best life, just doing whatever to feel happy, I guess, or just to feel something, because at that point, like, I've gotten pretty tired and just bored with everything that's going on. Just you talk to somebody and it's just the same circle of just it's just repetitive. You get somebody's number, you text for a little bit, y'all laugh, y'all hang out, Netflix and chill, XYZ. It's literally the same thing with every it doesn't really necessarily change. I'm just bored with the whole cycle of everything. You drink, you go to a party, I don't know, it's at night, you have a good time, you go to sleep, you wake up, and you just rinse and repeat. There's no change. I'm just tired and I'm bored of it, and it doesn't seem like anything I can get out of it. It's like, I don't like it, but it's like, all right, well, what else is there to do? This night we're throwing a party for a group of people, and get to the party, and at some point in time, I don't know what happened or what made like this, what triggered this, but now it just feels weird. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I'm pouring up a cup, right? And I can hear everybody's voices. I know that sounds crazy. I know it sounds bizarre. I'm pouring up a cup, and everything that I'm thinking is being manifested in real life. I'm hearing, I don't know how to explain it. I know I sound crazy, and I don't really care, to be honest, but I'm hearing people's thoughts in my head. Things that I'm hearing, things that are going on in my mind are manifesting. So I would think, oh, like, this light is really cool. Somebody out loud would be like, this light is really cool. And that, like, I didn't notice it at first until it became like a continual thing. Like, every thought that I was having, or not every thought, but like most thoughts I was having were just it would just happen over and over again. So I started getting freaked out, and I'm like, what is happening here? Like, why is this going on? I know I'm not tripping. So I'm asking people like, yo, do you know what's going on? Like, I'm trying to figure out, if this is like a joke or like a prank. Like, I'm halfway thinking that somebody's gonna pull around with like a camera and be like, oh, you're on Candid TV, like, like one of those things. Because the way that it's happening, it doesn't seem to be coincidental, and it seems to be very on purpose. So I'm freaking out. I'm getting angry because, like, you have to know what you're doing. Like, the way that everything is going right now, like, y'all have to know what y'all are doing, and nobody can answer any of the questions that I have for them. So I break down in the middle of the party. I'm like crying. I'm done. Like, at some point in time, I got pulled into a back room because I was being belligerent in the middle of the party. Yeah. After a while, I was like, okay, like, there's no way for all this to just be something I'm making up. Like, this gotta be God. God's gotta be telling me something. I'm thinking in my head, and I'm like, where, like, if this is God, like, where is he? Why doesn't he just like say something? And I'm like, okay, you know what? That's it. Like, I'm done being paranoid about it. So I just lay down on the floor and I held my breath and just hold it. And like my body starts to beat me up. Like man. So I'm laying down on the floor and my heart's like, I'm holding my breath. I'm laying down on the floor and my heart starts beating super duper fast because, you don't breathe, you're going to die. So like my heart is like beating. It's like boom, 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 it's pumping. And my body starts to burn after a while. It's like I know I'm supposed to breathe. But at this point, for one, I'm too intoxicated to care. Like, I don't really care. Like, I'm done. Like, I don't, I wanted to get to the bottom of it. Like, I wanted to be sure it was God. So I'm just holding my breath. I'm done. And everything starts to burn. Everything starts to hurt. My body's like shaking. My body's like pumping. Like, my heart is literally beating. Like, it's like, it's really, it's just intense. And then after a while, like, everything starts to grow cold from like my fingers into me. Like, and I'm still holding my breath throughout all the whole process, to eventually I'm just laying down on the floor and I don't even know where I am. I'm pretty sure my eyes are closed at this point in time. It's just me and space. Like, I'm laying down on the floor, but I don't even feel the floor anymore. Like, it feels like empty. Like, it's just me and emptiness, and that's it. And I'm just there, and I'm still holding my breath. And my body at this point is like beating me. It's like, Joed, if you don't breathe, you're gonna die. I'm like, I don't care. Like, I know it's God. Even if I die, like, he'll bring me back. Like, I don't care. I don't care. Until eventually it's like, this is your last chance, bro. If you don't breathe, you're gonna die. And I was like, I don't care. Like, I know it's God. And all of a sudden, as soon as I said that to myself, like, all of a sudden, this like breath of, I don't even know. Like, it was just like a whoosh, like, just the deepest breath I've ever taken in my whole entire life. And I sit up and I'm like, and I sit up and like, I don't even know, man. Like, it's just crazy to explain. I mean, some more stuff happened that night, but that's like the main gist of that story. So after that, I'm like, dang, like, that was kind of crazy. It was even crazier because I don't think I'd ever, like, I don't even think that the things that I drank at that party were as much as I used to drink before. Like, I used to be a really heavy drinker, and here we are, and I don't know, man. So fast forward, I'm like, okay, you know what? Maybe I should chill from this lifestyle. Maybe I should relax. Let me just go back into just chilling a little bit. And I'm not going to drink. I'm not going to smoke. I'm not going to party. That lasts for like a little bit until eventually, like, oh, maybe I'll go to a party. Okay, maybe I'll have like a blunt, or maybe like, I'm just not going to buy anything. Like, if anybody's going to roll for me, like, like, I'm not gonna turn it down, because like, I'm not trying to spend money in the first place. So like, whatever, like, give me lit. And so like, eventually, like, slowly but surely, I returned to the same lifestyle. Then I go to this girl's house, and the night before, we smoke, we sleep together. It's chill. It's whatever. I don't know. I guess I was gonna say it's just regular, because I don't know, man. Like, nothing crazy happened. It was like, whatever. So then the next day, wake up, we roll up again, and we're smoking for a little bit. And then eventually, I don't know, like, out of nowhere, everything just starts to I just start to get cold. Like, I just start to get cold, and it doesn't matter what happens, I'm still cold. Like, I'm fully dressed, I'm still cold. I go out, we turn the thermostat to 75 degrees, I'm standing next to it, I'm still cold. Like, it doesn't matter. I'm sitting down on the floor, she's giving me blankets, I'm still cold. I have like jackets on, I'm still cold. Like, nothing I can do can fix this cold. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, at this point, like, she's like rubbing on my back and on my leg to warm me up, and nothing's going on, bro. Like, I'm still cold. Like, regardless of what happens, regardless of what we try, like, I'm still cold. So then I look her in the eye, and she, like, this, I remember this, like, I don't know, man. The way that it happened just stuck out to me. Like, I was looking at her, she's looking at me. She doesn't even look like who she is. Like, I don't know how to explain that. Like, I'm looking at her, but it doesn't feel like I'm looking at her. And then she's like, what? I don't keep you warm anymore? And I'm like, that's just weird. Like, just leave me alone. I'm freaking out and I'm panicking. Like, why am I cold? Like, what's going on? Like, why do I feel this way? Like, how come nothing that we're doing is working to fix this cold? Like, I don't understand what's going on. So I'm freaking out. Then I call, one of my line brothers. Like, he's like playing music or whatever. And the beat, I don't know, man. Like, everything just felt like death to me. Like, I'm hearing his beat. I'm like, bro, like, just turn it off. It just sounds like death. Like, I don't know. Everything just feels like death. Everything just feels just scary. So I hang up on that phone call. I call another one of my line brothers. So he's calming me down. He's like, hey, like, relax. Like, just just calming me down. I'm telling him about all the things that pretty much stressing me out, like where my life is going, the direction, you know, professionally. And he's just calming me down, telling me I'm gonna be okay, XYZ. Eventually, like I calmed down and like I stopped feeling as cold as I was, and I'm like, all right, you know, maybe I was just freaking out, like maybe I was just panicking about that. Here I am at this girl's house. I just freaked out in front of her. I cried, like this is weird. I'm gonna leave. Like I can't be here anymore. So I get up and, you know, I say goodbye and I'm gonna walk down to the metro and then go back home. I step outside to go to the metro and like it just invades me all over again. Like I'm walking out the crib and I'm about to go to the metro, and like it just grabs me all over again. Like I'm walking down the street and like it just feels like if I walk down the street, if I go to the metro and go home, I'm gonna die. Like I don't know why I'm so strongly convinced of this, but it's just a fact. Like I don't know how I know it. I just know it. I can't do it. I can't go down there. Like I'm like I doubted at first. I'm like, no, there's no way this is real. So I start walking and it just gets stronger and stronger. So I'm like, all right, you know, I'm not even gonna tell, like whatever's going on, like I don't know, I'm just gonna go back in the crib. So I go back in there and eventually I call an Uber. I get home, or maybe I called a Lyft, I don't know. And then I got home. That's the end of that story. So after that I'm like, okay, like, you know, that's kind of, I don't really know what's going on. Maybe I should just chill. Fast forward after that a little bit. So I'm part of this fraternity and I wanted to go to one of these events that they were doing. I wanted to get COVID tested before I went, because this is when COVID was still rampant. This is when it first, you know, like hit or whatever. And it was like, whoa, like this is scary. Like I'm not trying to hang out with people if I have COVID. And also like one of the requirements to be there was to not have COVID. So I'm like, okay, cool. I need to go get COVID tested. This day I wake up like around 11:20. I wake up and I'm like, I decide like, okay, today's the day I'm gonna go get COVID tested. While I'm deciding that, I'm like, you know, like I still have some weed left. Like let me just roll up something. I'm gonna go get COVID tested, do some homework. I'm gonna eat. It's just gonna be a chill day. I'm gonna be high. I'm gonna listen to music. I'm just gonna relax. It's gonna be a good day. Like, you know, it's gonna be one of those chill good days. And after that, I'm gonna go meet up with them. I set up the appointment at the COVID center. The time that I can be there is either from 11:40 to 12. I'm like, all right, cool. It's 11:25 at this point. I have to take the metro to get to school. I don't really know how the time is gonna work out, but I'm just convinced. I'm like, you know, it's all gonna work out. It'll be all right. So pack up everything. I leave my house. Eventually I get to the metro. I take the metro. I get to school maybe like around 11:15. From the metro to school, it's literally a straight line. You just walk up the hill. You know, I've done this countless of times before, so I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. Like I already know where I'm going. It's not gonna be a big deal. Get on the metro. I get to school 11:55, and I get there and I'm like, oh, like if I run up there, like maybe I'll make it there in time. But I don't really know. I just kind of doubted it. So I'm walking and I stop at this barbershop. I get inside because I also needed a haircut. I kind of need a haircut right now, to be honest. But anyway, so I get into the barbershop. Nobody greets me, and I'm just sitting there for like a little bit, and I'm like, all right, you know what, whatever. After like maybe 5 minutes or something like that, I give up. I'm like, all right, they're not gonna give me a haircut. Nobody greeted me on the way in here. Nobody said anything. Let me just walk out. So I walk out. I'm walking up the hill, and then that's like when I passed the hospital where they were gonna be doing the COVID testing, and the people that were gonna be COVID testing me literally are walking out at that point in time. So if I hadn't stopped there to get a haircut, I would have just, you know, I would have gotten the COVID test. Fast forward, haven't gotten COVID tested. I go back into the building. I'm like, all right, you know what? Let me just go ahead and do some homework. I take out all my stuff. I'm chilling. I'm the only one. I'm the only one there, because that's when I realized, like, I'm like, dang, like I still have this blunt that I rolled. Let me go ahead and smoke it, and you know, after I smoke it, I can eat and do homework. It's just gonna be a chill time. Like it's gonna be a vibe. Put on my headphones. I'm smoking. I'm just chilling, looking at like the scenes in nature and whatever. Just having a good time. I'd been in places before where we would just literally just keep passing. Like it doesn't matter. Like you just take it, you puff. Like you just maybe I don't know. You just keep doing it, and I wouldn't feel anything. And here I am, like after maybe like half of one, I don't feel good. Like I'm just like, I don't want to do this anymore. So I throw it to the side, go back inside, and as I'm walking up there, I'm like, dang, like what if I get caught here in this building and I'm high? Like like, you know, I just don't like the situation. So I go into the room, I get all my stuff, I leave, and I'm like, all right, you know, I'm just gonna go back home. Walking down the street, and that's again like the first story where I was in that, you know, in that party, and like people's thoughts started manifesting, or my thoughts started manifesting out loud. The same kind of thing is going on. Like I'm asking, like I'm just going through my thought processes as I'm walking down the street. Also, mind you, remember, to go from the school to the metro is a straight shot. I've done this before. I know exactly where I'm going. At first I don't notice it, but like the things around me and people around me are like answering the questions that I'm saying in my head. It's weird. I don't know how to explain it better than that. So like I'm saying something, somebody would say something, or I'm thinking something, somebody would say the answer to that question, and I don't notice it at first, because like, you know, who would notice that? But eventually it becomes to a point where it's like like you can't deny it. You can't, like, so I'm walking down the street, I'm asking myself like, yo, did I make this whole plan just to go here just so I can smoke? And I asked myself that, but I didn't answer that question. The answer came from me. And it's like, it wasn't like a loud, like, yes, like from my voice, but it's like internally, like I felt the pain, the conviction of, yes, like you did all this just to come here and smoke. And that freaks me out, because I never ever imagined that I'd be one of those people that was addicted to smoking. I never ever, oh, sorry. So before I was like, dang, did I do all this so I can come here and smoke? Pang. It's a yes from my body, from my spirit. Like, I don't know. Dang, that's crazy. Am I addicted to smoking? Again, I asked that question, but it's not me who answers it. And it's a like resounding yes, like, yes, you are. And I'm like, I I'm broken. Like I'm like, dang, like I never imagined that I'd be this guy that's addicted to smoking. I never imagined that, you know, I was gonna get into this lifestyle, and then now I'm like, it's something that I'm reliant on, and I'm kind of like tearing up as I'm walking down the street. That just shook me a little bit. Now I'm like, all right, you know, whatever, let me just go back on the metro. I just want to get home at this point. So as I'm walking down the street, like the same things just keep happening. Like I'm thinking some like a bus would pull by and somebody will yell something out the window that's like answering the thing that I'm saying. I'm walking down the street, they're like homeless people like on the corner, and they're like walking up to me, talking to me. Like it's weird. Like I don't know these people and they're just like coming up to me. This homeless person like comes up and like he's like talking to me or something like that. But if I have my headphones in, I have noise cancellation mode on, just trying to groove to the beat of the music, because like I'm walking down the street. Remember, like from school to the metro, it's a straight shot. I've done this before. I know where I'm going. I'm looking up and I'm looking around. I'm looking up and I'm looking around, and all I see are like one-way signs. Like the signs just say one way or wrong way. It seems like every sign is saying that. I'm just like really confused. I'm looking up. It feels like the street is also congested. Like the lights are all like either red or green, but like no cars are moving. Like that's when I hear the voice tell me like, you're gonna die. And like I heard that and I lost, like I panicked. I'm like, I'm gonna die. Like what? Like what is going on? Like who is, like how, where like where is this voice coming from? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna die, like just out of nowhere. And I stop on the middle of the street. I take out my headphones because I'm panicked. I'm like looking around and I don't know where I am. Like I walked from this road to go to the metro countless times before. I don't know where I am anymore. My headphones are out now. You know, when you take out the headphones, like the music stops playing, and I didn't press play on the music. That's when on my phone, pick up the phone starts playing, and like it's weird because again I didn't turn the music back on, but. And I don't even think I was listening to the song. I don't even think it was on my playlist, but out of nowhere, the song just starts playing. So I put my headphones back in and like, I'm back. Fast forward, I'm sitting here and I'm speaking to this police officer lady. I don't know how I ended up speaking to her. I don't know how I ended up on the side of the road. I don't know how I ended up in the situation. I don't know what happened for me to walk here, but here I am now, fully conscious, and I'm speaking to this lady. And it seems as though we've been speaking for a while, because the way the conversation is going, it's not like a conversation that just, you know, that just came up. We're deep in this conversation. I could tell. I tried to plead the fifth, but it's too late because I already been speaking to her. All of a sudden, again, I start feeling cold, and it's crazy because it was a nice day. Like I know it was a nice day because when I stepped out, it was a nice day, and here I am speaking to this lady. I don't know what we're talking about, but now I'm feeling this cold. I'm feeling this chill, and I'm starting to shiver. I'm looking around, and it feels like I can't get heat from anywhere. Like I'm like, you know, trying to hold myself, like, but I'm not feeling any warmer. Like the sun comes around the corner from the building, like it was like hidden behind the building, and then it comes around the corner, but it's like the sun is shining and there's no heat coming from the sun, bro. It's whack. Like I'm just there and I'm freezing. I'm chilling. I'm talking to this police officer lady. I'm scared because I'm like, I don't know how I ended up here. I don't know what I'm talking to her about. I have some of the parents from the fraternities that I'm in on. I'm like, dang, like I'm super duper identifiable right now. If they can know who I am, they're gonna track me down. They're gonna track down the people I know. Like that's why I'm just like very aware of the situation. Eventually, she ended up calling like one of her police officer friends, or you know, her partner or whatever. So they're there on the side of the street. I'm sitting down on the side of the street. It's just me and them. I'm super duper cold, and I literally felt like I'm going to die right here on this side of the street by these police officers. So like I'm sitting down on the side of the street, and it looks like I'm like, to me, I feel like I'm at execution. Like I feel like I'm at an execution. Like I'm sitting down in the middle of this street, right? And imagine like they're just, the two of them like right there. Like literally, let's say I'm right here where I'm like, you know, where my head is at. They're right here, like staring at me. Like I'm like, yeah, this is it. Like this is where I'm gonna die. Like I'm super like the freezing doesn't go away. I think it intensifies. Like eventually we're able to call some people. They get there, they pick me up. We get in the car. I don't know what song was playing, but the gist of the message was like, ha ha ha, like he chose me, you lost. Like I remember that. But we're driving now, and I'm trying to, you know, you just got picked up because you were in front of the two police officers. Like people want to know what happened. So I'm explaining to them what happened, how God's been talking to me this whole time. But like we're driving, and again, like that fear, like how I was walking down the street and I was like, if I go to this metro, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna go back in the house. Like that same kind of thing. Twice I try to tell him the story, and eventually when I get to God, the interest dies, so I stop. But eventually we like stop at this like red light, and my heart is like pounding out of my chest. Like I'm deeply convinced. I'm like, if I don't tell him everything that's been going on, like that's it. Like, but I'm like, I'm not gonna die because I refuse to tell somebody about Jesus at this moment in time. So I just blurted out the whole story, and then that feeling of like fear of just like whatever just left. I'm good. So we drive to the house where we're going, and here I am, like I'm just super like excited. Like I don't know where I'm like excited. I'm like, all right, let's talk about God. Like let's talk about him. I tried a couple of times to have conversations about God. It just dies out. So eventually I'm sitting down on the couch alone at this house. My family's like going on vacation. They called me earlier, and like I wasn't paying attention, and I don't know, I kind of set up like a ride to go back home. Now I'm sitting on this couch, I'm alone, and again that same kind of like just like you're gonna die if you stay at this place. You're just gonna die. Like it really, like I don't know how else to explain it, but like I knew I couldn't stay here. Like I can't stay here. I have to get home. And I'm walking around the house trying to calm down because I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just being paranoid. Maybe I'm freaking out for no reason. But like the longer I stay there, the more I feel this conviction. Like you cannot stay here. You're gonna die. You're gonna die. You're gonna die. And I'm freaking out because I'm like, yo, where is this coming from? Like why am I feeling this way? I'm looking at some of the artifacts in this fraternity that I'm in, like some of the daily that we have, and like the more I look at, the more I start getting this like you're gonna die. you're gonna die, you're gonna die, you're gonna die. I'm like, I'm done, bro. Like, I'm just gonna, I call my brother. I'm like, bro, like, yo, come pick me up. Like, how long is it gonna be till you get here? Like, let's have like a signal so that when you get here, I know it's you. Cause I'm like, if anybody else comes through that door, like, I'm not opening it for them. The only person I'm gonna open that door for is my brother. Like, I'm gonna go home. Like, my blood brother at this point in time, not my frat brother. So I'm like, I'm gonna go home. I can't stay here. He comes, like, I don't even think I said goodbye to anybody. I picked up on my stuff. I put him on my back and I dipped. Like, I ran out of there so fast. We're driving now, and like, I'm asking him all these questions. Like, I'm telling him about the things that I've thought about God for so long, and I'm bombarding him with questions, things that I was like, bro, this is illogical. Like, these things don't add up, XYZ. I'm just bombarding him with questions. Yeah, we're driving. He's doing a super duper job. Like, he's just answering every single question, and for every question, he's also providing scripture with it. The more we speak, the more he answers, the more we talk, like the calmer and calmer I get. But it's not even like a calmer, like I'm chilling now. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's like an inside kind of calm. Like, it's like I didn't even realize that I was calm until we got home, and I'm not even feeling any of the fear that I had before. We get into the house. He's like, you good? I'm like, yeah. This whole day has been crazy. I get into my room. I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm just about to go to sleep now. Again, like, as soon as like I'm about to go to sleep, like that huge, like, yo, you're gonna die. Like, this, I just know this can't end like this. Like, there's like, this is not the end. Like, if I go to sleep right now, like, I can't go to sleep. I know I can't go to sleep. I don't know what's going on, but I know I can't be alone. So I go to him. I call him. I'm like, bro, like, I just can't be alone right now. Like, you go to my room. He's like, yeah. He had to do homework. He's sitting on the bed with his laptop, and the whole time he's there, like, I'm bugging him. I'm bombarding him with all these questions, all these different things, all these different thoughts about God. Like, I'm literally I just keep pressuring him. I'm pressuring him, trying to make him crack or break or something, or trying to get to the point where like he understands that I'm right. Like, this whole time, all these thoughts that I've been having, like, there is no answer. Like, there's no, like, your Christianity is not going to work. You know, like, I had these questions and these are real legit concerns, but every single one of them and every single twist, every single turn, he has the answer for the questions I'm asking. I'm telling him how it's impossible. After all this time, it doesn't make any sense. Like, after everything I've known about God my whole life, my dad's a pastor. I've been in all these different parts of the church. Like, I've done all this stuff, and every single twist, every single turn, I got to college, I decided to turn away from him. Every single twist, every chance I got, I refused to identify with him. Like, it doesn't matter what happened, I would refuse to be identified with God. Like, and my lifestyle didn't show it. Like, I was out here drinking, I was out here smoking, I was out here hooking up with random people. Like, I was doing everything I could to do whatever I wanted to do outside of him. And I was telling him, I was like, there's no way that he would have anything to do with me at this point in time. Like, I know he's done, I know he's through. Like, I know there's nothing that God wants to do with me at this point in time. But he says, nah, bro, that's what grace is. And that breaks everything inside of me. Everything inside of me at that point in time was done. It was broken, and I tear up and I'm crying, like snot coming out. I'm bawling, bro. My eyes are like, it's just done. He said, that's what grace is. And I remember that sentence, like, exactly. That's what grace is, bro. And that's it, man. Like, I'm just crying. I'm tearing up. I'm like, wow. Like, after all this stuff that I've done, like, God still wants to do something with me. Like, God still wants the relationship with me. Like, how? You know, like, I'm not even understanding at this point. God still cares about me. Like, that's crazy to me. And I'm crying, and I'm crying. We put on this video about the giving your life to God, and I did it. At that point, I'm like, all right, you know, let me go ahead and just distance myself from these fraternities, because, you know, I realized that it was wrong. And even before joining them, I had spoken to my parents about it, but, you know, my parents were like, no. But again, like, they're African parents, so I just kind of like, I was like, all right, you know, you guys have like your own different view of the world. Like, and, you know, they were giving me information, or they were telling me things about the spiritual influences and different things like that. And I was like, okay, like, you've never even been in a frat before, so like, how would you even know? First, you know, like, I just really just didn't believe them. But like, this night, I was just so convicted, and I go into the group chat. I'm like, guys, this is not the direction God wants me to go in, or this is not something along the lines of that. I put that in the group chat with the people that I crossed the fraternity with, the people that, you know, the people that are supposedly my brothers, the people that everyone's like, all right, nobody like decides to call or check up on me. Bro, I put it in there, and people were like, okay, all right, cool. And I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, I leave. Like, one person called to check on me that night. He was at this party. He's talking to me. I'm telling him like about everything that happened, or trying to tell him about everything that happened. And he's trying to convince me like, oh no, bro, like, this is on, like, you know, this is your decisions. Like, you can choose, you know, not to drink, not to smoke, not to do all this stuff. And like, that has nothing to do with the fraternity, XYZ. And like, I don't know, like, it's just not adding up anymore. So I'm like, you know, whatever, bro. I'm done. Like, I'm not gonna be here anymore. And like, you know, fully convinced and convicted at this point in time. So I leave. That's like the story. That's the main story. Of course, like, a bunch of stuff has happened outside of that in between the time from that till now. And that even the story itself was kind of diluted, because here's the crazy part. After that day, the urge to smoke, the urge to drink, that died. Dead. Like, on the spot, bro. It's crazy. It's really crazy. Gone immediately. Like, and it's not like I haven't been offered to go out or do anything like that, but like, that urge that like, yo, we're gonna go out, we're gonna get lit, like, just done. But God took care of it. Now it's more about, you know, me focusing on my relationship with him and getting closer to him and actually knowing who he is. Since then, I've heard his voice multiple times. I've heard his voice maybe 2 or 3 times, and each time has been a blessing. Each time it's just brought peace to me. And the peace that I felt too is not like this is a calm day. No, it's been there, like a peace I can't even explain, like a peace that like was from the deepest insides of me, bro. Like I don't know how to explain it. There's no words for it. Like just little, like it felt like, imagine looking at an ocean, like it's just like an ocean view. You're literally in the middle, somehow you're standing in the middle of the ocean. Everything around you is just like no waves, no nothing. The water is just still, bro. That's the best way I can describe the way that my insides, or that I felt, that, you know, that I felt. And, you know, of course, like life happens and that peace kind of, you know, dissipates eventually, but I read the Bible and then that peace comes back. Yeah, man. If you identify with anything I said, or if you feel any kind of way, or if you feel like you're somewhere where God doesn't exist, or God won't reach out to you, or God can't reach out to you, or you've done too much to where there's no way he still cares about you, or you just don't know what you're doing, you're lost, or you feel like you're just going through the same cycles and it doesn't seem like anything is fun or exciting, the reason for that is because it's God is missing, and that's what it is. You're trying to fill it, you're trying to have fun, you're trying to hang out, whatever it is. Look, man, at the end of the day, either you die and you pay for your sins yourself, or you die and Jesus pays for your sins. And that's just the truth. If you want to get to know him, like, hey, there's no better time than now, man. There's no better time than now. If you don't know him and you want to know him, literally tell him that. Be like, God, I don't know you. Like, I've heard about you. Everybody says all these different things. I don't know who you are. I want to experience you for myself. I want to get to know you for myself. You tell him that and he's going to make it happen. I told him I didn't know where he was. I wanted him to show up. I wanted him to show out. And here I am. So if he did it for me, he can do it for anyone, man. I was so far gone. So if anyone has any questions, or if anyone wants to ask anything, I'm here. Reach out to me however you can. Thank you for listening. Thank you for making it to this point. I pray that God bless you through this message, and that you were able to take something out of it. Yeah. Thank you.